Tim Duncan. He probably has one of the most underrated careers here. You're talking about a player that was always the best player on his team, winning championships. And I don't like talking about it, but let's go through help. So people been debating like Shaq is greater all time and all that stuff. Well, let's look at Shaq's help, bro. Alright, Shaq, he started out with the Orlando Magic with Penny Hardaway. One of the best perimeter players of that generation. Better than Tony Parker. He goes to LA and he plays with Kobe. One of the best perimeter players ever. He goes to Miami and he plays with Wade. One of the best perimeter players ever. He goes to the Suns and he plays with Steve Nash. Another great perimeter player. And obviously this is out of his prime. But he goes to the Cavs and he plays with LeBron James. Probably the best perimeter player of this generation. And then he goes to the Celtics. And albeit, man, he was washed up. He wasn't playing minutes. He was injury prone at this point. But he went and he played with Paul Pierce. Obviously Kevin Garnett too. But what I'm saying is that Shaq, bro, his help has been ridiculous through his career. And let's look at Tim Duncan's help. Tim Duncan, his help on the best season ever, being the best help he's received. He had a 20-point per game with Tony Parker. You know, that's pretty nice. You know what I mean? 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 50% from the field, 29% from 3. Obviously, this was not an era of spacing. But that still kind of hurts when you're a dominant big man if they can't space the floor. That's why Kobe was so great with Shaq, because Kobe could hit so many shots. Tony Parker was not that guy. He was, let me go in the lane, get a layup, get some free throws. Let me dish it off to the big in the paint. Let me hit an open shooter. He was much more of a facilitator than he was a scorer, even though it didn't really show up, you know what I mean, 6 assists a game. It's not like any Steve Nash numbers. And then you think of Shaq's best help. Or let's just think of Kobe's best help. People try to put Kobe over Duncan all the time. Kobe's help was Shaq, right? He averaged 30, 14, 4 on 58% from the field and won the MVP that season. It's not that, oh shit, Tim Duncan was in a great system. Okay, you're in a great system. But like I said it all the time, players make coaches. Like, Eric Spoelstra probably is not that great of a coach if he didn't have Dwayne Wade, then eventually get LeBron James, and eventually get Chris Bosh. If he doesn't have that talent, it's going to be harder for him to become a great coach. Obviously, he's an amazing coach right now. Popovich, if he didn't have Tim Duncan, like Phil Jackson, if he didn't have Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, if he didn't have these great players, bro, he wouldn't be known as a coach, as a great coach that they are. So you're saying he played in a great system, that's fine. But you can't teach somebody to play like Shaq. Shaq's hella dominant. You can't teach somebody to play like Kobe. Kobe was hella dominant too. Alright, so now let's look at the bench player. People love giving Manu props. I give him props too. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer yet. I mean, he should be. But in his best season with Tim Duncan, he had 19, 4, and 5 on 46% from the field and 40% from 3 coming off the bench. Now, let me know when your third best player on the team is coming off the bench. So Tim Duncan, not only does he have the accolades, you know, he leads in most defensive teams all time and all that stuff. Probably the best defensive longevity since like Bill Russell. Not only does he do that, but he had the Spurs in contention for every single year he was there. And they were getting to the finals a lot. He ended up with a finals record of 5-1, which could have definitely been 6-0 if it wasn't for Ray Allen. And I'm not trying to shit on LeBron or Wade or Bosh when I say Ray Allen. But like, he did save us in that game 6. So for him to be this accomplished and to have this little help, it's actually ridiculous. You know, he leads Kobe in all defensive teams, MVPs, finals MVPs, playoff appearances. He won the rookie year like Kobe didn't, but this is not me comparing him to Kobe. Tim Duncan is so underrated. Let's continue on this thing about help. So in my opinion, Tim Duncan is a top 5 player ever. My list goes MJ or Bron is the GOAT. It don't matter. I'm not gonna have a GOAT conversation or anything like that. Third is Kareem. Fourth is Duncan, in my opinion, and then fifth is Magic. But when we're talking about help, he probably had the least help out of any superstar here. I mean, out of any of the top 5 players here. LeBron James, when he went to Miami, played with who was an MVP candidate in 2009, Dwayne Wade. Can we agree that Dwayne Wade is better than Tony Parker? Yes. He played with Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh in Toronto was a much better player than Tony Parker. And you know, in Miami only averaged 18 and 8, something like that. I would still say that's a better player than Tony Parker, because defensively, he was playing defense against Tim Duncan. He was playing big minutes. Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki. They played some really good bigs in the finals, the ones that he had to play against. And then let's look at Let's look at MJ's help. Now, MJ, he didn't have great help. I mean, considering his all-time ranking, he probably had the second least help out of the top 5 players ever. But he had Scottie Pippen. We can all agree Scottie Pippen is better than Tony Parker. He had Rodman, who I don't think is better than Tony Parker. It's kind of close, because Rodman is like that Draymond Green type role. But then we'll go to Kareem. Well, Kareem, he started off playing with one of the best point guards ever, Oscar Robertson. Then he went to LA, played with the greatest point guard ever, Magic Johnson. And then Magic Johnson, who's 5th on my list, played with the best center ever. So when you're looking at help and people are saying he had too much help, bro, shut up, bro. You dumb.